India after independence. So in the previous chapter we have learned about freedom fight, what all movements were started to get a freedom, to get independence. Huh? Now we are independent country from 1947. But what are the challenges as a independent country we have to deal with? That we are going to learn in this. So we have already seen in the previous chapter. I know long back we have done it, but I will just recall what all we have learned. We have learned about the challenges of keeping the nation united, because we are a diverse country of different religion, different custom. So to keep them together, it's a difficult task, it is a challenge. Then at the same time there is a challenge of development, because we were all underdeveloped country at that time. Then there was a challenge of migrating, means accommodating the peoples who were migrated from Pakistan. So that is one more challenge. Then in the villages people were only occupied in agricultural activities, so we have to build businesses, we have to bring the industries to India, and so that we can provide the employment to the people, and so we could develop. Do you remember all this? So these are the problems what we have decided earlier. Yeah, to make law is also the problem, Tarun, correct, huh? So it is a constitution is written. To continue to that story, today's topic is a constitution is written. Now, what is constitution means? You know the meaning. Who can explain me what is constitution means? Because they were diverse people. Yeah, but I want to know. Yeah, it is a sort of rules. Correct. Huh? Samarth. Correct. So a constitution is written means where the set of laws, set of rules is to be written or is to be formed or is to be made, so that all citizens would be benefited by it, and there should be a thinking that all citizens are considered. Okay, in a such a diverse country, it's a biggest task, it's a biggest challenge to make laws, because we don't want to hurt the emotions, their religious beliefs, huh? Their means their diversity in economical background also. So we have to keep all these things in mind, and accordingly the constitution is to be made. And another thing, which is the most important thing while writing the constitution, is there should be opportunity to each and individual to earn money, to get good health care, to get educated, to follow their religious practices. So all these things while keeping in mind and then making the constitution is a difficult, most difficult task, which took around 3 years to get it done. Okay, so we are going to read it about. First, as usual, we are going to read the content from the textbook, and then we will continue with the PPT. Okay, so today we have to read from fourth paragraph on page number 161. Okay, see, a constitution is written. I will zoom it. Is it visible? Yeah, is the textbook
Yes, ma'am.
visible? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now what all constitution is written, ह्याला एक अख्खं एक हेडिंग वेगळं का दिलंय, ह्याचा एक अख्खा एक सब टॉपिक का बनवलाय लेसन मध्ये, किती त्याचा इम्पॉर्टन्स आहे, यू विल कम टू नो नाव. Between December 1946 and November 1949, some 300 Indians had a series of meetings on the country's political future. The meeting of this Constituent Assembly were held in New Delhi, but the participants came from all over India and from different political parties. These discussions resulted in the framing of the Indian Constitution, which was adopted on 26 January 1950. That is why we celebrate this day as a Republic Day. Correct? So 26 Jan we celebrate it as a Republic Day, because on that day Constitution was handed to the country. After 3 years of what? 3 years of hard work. Hmm? One feature of the Constitution was its adoption of universal franchise, adult franchise. So this is the basic thing, or which is the most important part of our Constitution, where all adults have given the right to vote, which was not, which was first means not given by the Britishers. All Indians above the age of 21 would be allowed to vote in state and national elections. This was a revolutionary step, for never before had Indians been allowed to choose their own leaders. In other countries such as United Kingdom, see, this is our parliamentary house, how the people, how the opposition party, ruling party, they have a sitting arrangement, okay? And Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, our first prime minister, was addressing to the leaders. This right had been granted in stages. First, only men of property had the vote. Then, men who were educated were also added on. In working class men got the vote only after a long struggle. Finally, after a bitter struggle of their own, American and British women were granted the vote. On the other hand, soon after the independence, India chose to grant this right to all its citizens regardless of gender, class, or education. So this is the main difference between the uh, rule of voting or of the adult universal adult franchise in America and UK, how it was, and in India how it was. So this is the basic difference. In America it was first given to the men who were having property, then second who were well educated, and then after a lot of struggle given to the women, both in America and UK. But on the contrary, in India it was given immediately after the independence to all the adults. Got it? This is the most important change. A second feature of constitution was that it guaranteed equality before the law to all citizens. So this is one of the most important key feature of our constitution. Huh? Gave the equality to all the citizens. Equality means everything. You can count their religion, gender, race, everything over here. Hmm? Regardless of their caste or religion affiliation, there were some Indians who wished that the political system of the new nation be based on Hindu idols and that India itself be run as a Hindu state. हे आधीचं बिलीव्ह होतं हे ओके कारण जसं pointed to the example of Pakistan, a country created explicitly to protect and further the interest of particular religious community, the Muslims. However, the Indian Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru was of the opinion that India could not and must not become a Hindu Pakistan. Okay. Besides Muslim, India also had large population of Sikhs and Christians as well as many Parsis and Jains. Under the new constitution, they would have the same right as Hindus, the same opportunities when it come to seeking jobs in government or the private sector, the same rights before the law. So that is what equality all means. Okay. Then next, a third feature of the constitution was that it offered special privileges for the poorest and most disadvantaged Indians. This is the third key feature. पहिलं key feature काय होतं? Universal adult franchise. Right of voting was given to all adults in India. Second feature of constitution was equality. Means equal opportunity to be given to the all citizens. And the third key feature is special privileges for the poorest and most disadvantaged Indians. The practice of untouchability, described as a slur or and a blot on the fair name of India, was abolished. Hindu temples previously open to only the higher caste were thrown upon to all, including the formal untouchables. This we have seen in Women Caste and Reform, where Dr. Ambedkar has started the temple entry. After a long debate, the Constituent Assembly also recommended that a certain percentage of seats in legislature as well as jobs in government be reserved for the members of the lowest class. So this is something different. This is something special provision in the Constitution where special opportunities were given to the lower caste people, who are underprivileged, we can say, who has not got the opportunity to get education, who are poor or who are from the lower caste. So that special provision was made in the constitution in the initial stages. It had been argued by some that untouchables, or as they were known as Harijan, candidates did not have good enough grades to get into the prestigious Indian administrative services. But as one member of the Constituent Assembly, H.J. Khandekar, argued it was the upper caste who were responsible for the Harijans being unfit today, addressing these more privileged colleagues, Khandekar said, we were suppressed for thousands of years. This is all because of the caste system. Huh? You engaged us in your service to serve your own ends and suppressed us to such an extent that neither our minds nor our bodies and nor even our hearts work, nor are we able to march forward. See, this is a very important paragraph. Huh? Understand the meaning. What Mr. Khandekar had said, H.J. Khandekar. हं? तुम्ही म्हणजे आम्हाला इतकं सप्रेस केलं की आमची बुद्धी, आमचं हृदय, आमचं थिंकिंग हे काही कामच करेन असं झालं. अँड वी आर ओनली सर्विंग यू टू द हायर कास्ट पीपल. दॅट इज वॉट ही वॉन्ट टू से. Along with the formal untouchables, the Adivasis or scheduled tribes were also granted reservation in seats and jobs. Like the scheduled caste, these Indians too had been deprived and discriminated against. The tribals had been deprived of modern healthcare and education, while their lands and forests had been taken away by more powerful outsiders. The new privileges granted them by the Constitution were meant to make amends for this. Constitution amends म्हणजे हळूहळू त्याच्यात कसे बदल केले गेले, कारण तेव्हाची सिच्युएशन, because Constitution was made in 1950, immediately after the independence. The scenario at that time and the scenario of this year, there are a lot of changes. So accordingly, there should be amendments made in the Constitution, which we are doing and which is needed also. The Constituent Assembly spent many days discussing the powers of the central government versus those of the state government. म्हणजे सेंट्रल गव्हर्नमेंटला काय काय पॉवर्स द्यायच्या आणि स्टेट गव्हर्नमेंटला काय काय पॉवर्स द्यायच्या. दिस वॉज अ डिफिकल्ट टास्क विच टूक लॉंग सो मेनी डेज to implement it or to get it done. Some members thought that the center's interest should be foremost. Only a strong center, it was argued, would be in a position to think and plan for well-being of the country as a whole. Other members felt that the provinces should have greater autonomy and freedom. A member from Mysore feared that under the present system, democracy is centered in Delhi and it is not allowed to work in the same sense and spirit in the rest of the country. The member from Madras insisted that the initial responsibility for the well-being of the people of the provinces should rest with the provincial governments. आता असे डिस्प्यूट्स होते, प्रत्येकाचा ओपिनियन होता त्यावेळेस. हा, आधी सुरुवातीला काय वाटत होतं की सेंट्रलला हायेस्ट अथॉरिटी द्यायची, सो इट कुड रन अ होल कंट्री in a good way, so we can progress, we can develop. But provinces किंवा स्टेट लेवल वरती तिथले जे लीडर्स होते, they were little bit opposing this. The Constitution sought to balance these competing claims by providing three lists of subjects: a union list with subjects such as taxes, defense, and foreign affairs, which would be exclusive responsibility of the center; a state list of subjects such as education and health, which would be taken care of principally by the states; a concurrent list under which could come subjects such as forest and agriculture, in which the center and the states would have joint responsibility. हा होल पॅरेग्राफ खूप इम्पॉर्टंट आहे. ओके, आता पॉवर्स कशा डिस्ट्रीब्यूट केल्या गेल्या, त्याला कसं बायफर्केट केलं गेलं, तर दे मेड अ युनियन लिस्ट. युनियन लिस्ट मीन्स व्हॉट, इट विथ द गव्हर्नमेंट विल वर्क सेंट्रली फॉर थ्रू मीन्स फॉर होल ऑफ द कंट्री. आता युनियन लिस्ट मध्ये त्यांच्या अंडर काय काय जॉब झाले, सो दे हॅव टू टेक केअर ऑफ फॉरेन अफेअर्स, defense and taxes. Okay, this is under the union list. Then under the state list, what it is, they have to take care about the health, education. This is under the state list. And concurrent list means what, it will be managed by both union list and state list, and those areas on which they will work together are the areas of agriculture and forest. ओके, हे तुम्ही अंडरस्टँड करणं खूप गरजेचं आहे. मीन्स दिस इज अ रोल decided by the constitution or decided by those constituent assembly at that time, and bifurcated into union list, where taxes, defense, and foreign affairs are under their control. In the state list, it is healthcare, schooling, education will be under their control, and concurrent list, where forestry and agriculture will be controlled by both union list and state list. So this is very important. Another major debate in the Constituent Assembly concerned language. Many members believe that the English language should leave India with the British rulers. त्यांचं बिलीव्ह काय होतं, ब्रिटिशर्सना तर आपण घालवून दिलं, क्विट इंडिया, दे लेफ्ट, वी गॉट इंडिपेंडन्स. सो अलॉंग विथ देम द लँग्वेज शुड ऑल्सो quit India. It should also vanish from India. Its place, they argued, should be taken by Hindi. However, those who did not speak Hindi were of a different opinion. Speaking in the assembly, T.T. Krishnamachari conveyed a warning on behalf of people of the South, some of whom threatened to separate from India if Hindi was imposed on them. A compromise was finally arrived at, namely that while Hindi would be the official language of India, English would be used in courts, the services and communications between one state and another. आता ह्याच्यावरती इलाज कसा काढला, कारण साऊथ मध्ये हिंदी स्पीकिंग, दे डोंट अंडरस्टँड हिंदी लँग्वेज, सो दे वेर अगेन्स्ट दॅट, टू declare India English as a national language. So they were opposing this. So what conclusion they came up with, or what solution they came up with? Hindi will be official language, but for the documentation, for communication, English will be used, especially for the non-Hindi people. Many Indians contributed to the framing of the constitution, but perhaps the most important role was played by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who was chairman of the drafting committee. आता तुम्हाला हे MCQ साठी लक्षात ठेवायचं आहे. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who was chairman of the drafting committee. Okay, under whose supervision the document was finalized. In his final speech to the Constituent Assembly, Dr. Ambedkar pointed out that political democracy had to be accompanied by economic and social democracy. Giving the right to vote would not automatically lead to the removal of other inequalities, such as between rich and poor or between upper and lower caste. With the new constitution, he said India was going to enter into a life of contradictions. In politics, we will have equality, and in social and economic life, we will have inequality. आता ह्याचा अर्थ तुम्हाला कळतोय का, what he want to say? In politics, we will have equality. Means what? We have given right of vote to everyone. So this is equality in politics. Means leaders will be elected from all the social groups. Then next, in social and economic life, we will have inequality. What does that means? Because people are not getting those opportunities, those poor people, those underprivileged people, they were not having the opportunity to go to school, to go to good public health care, to follow. Sometimes now we have seen in temple entry how Harijans and lower caste were not allowed to enter into the temple. So that is something related to the social inequality. So that is why he was saying that in politics we will have equality, and in social and economic life we will have inequality. I hope you have understood this sentence. Aryan, I just explained everything. Political equality means what? Where right of voting is given to each and every people, adult of our country after independence. Is it political equality? And social and economical inequality means what? There are, based on caste system, we are discriminating the people of lower caste. They were not going to get education, good public health care. So that is why there is an inequality in social and economical life. As those people are not getting good education, they are not getting good jobs. So that is why it is economic inequality. We will be recognized the principle of one man, one vote, and one value. In our social and economic life, we shall, by reason of our social and economic structure, continue to deny the principle of one man, one vote. So, this is what all we have to learn. So, basically, today's content is all about writing a constitution. Once the constitution was written, what all were the key features? We have learned three features. So here it is second. First, first one was mentioned, second one was mentioned, and third one was also. And then what all things they have to keep it in mind while writing the constitution, that all is part of today's lecture. Okay. So now I will show you the PPT. Okay, India after independence. A constitution is written. Now pay attention again, whoever has not understood from the textbook. So we have read this content. Okay, a constitution is written. Even before India was independent from the British, leading politicians had started thinking about the law of the land. म्हणजे लॉ ऑफ द कंट्री म्हणायचं इथे त्यांना. ओके, लॉ ऑफ द लँड म्हणजे काय, आपण आता ही एक इंडिपेंडंट लँड होणार आहे. So they have started thinking about that independent land before independence, when means British was ruling at that time only. From the end of 1946 to the end of 1949, about 300 thought leaders met several times to come to a decision on how to govern the soon to be country. म्हणजे इंडिपेंडन्स मिळायच्या आधीच ह्या लोकांनी त्याच्यावरती विचार करायला सुरुवात केलेली होती. अँड हाऊ मेनी सच लीडर्स दे वेअर टुगेदर? अराउंड 300 लीडर्स. These 300 people were from different religions, political parties, caste, and income levels. So, all these 300 people, though the chairperson was Dr. Ambedkar, and that though the constitution was written or assembly was held in New Delhi, but the leaders are from throughout the country, means from north, from south, from east, west, of different economical backgrounds, of different religion, everyone together they form the constitution of India, which provide Indian citizens with various rights. For the first time in history, the people from the Indian subcontinent got the right to choose their leader. So this is by the universal adult franchise. Now, this right is called the Universal Adult Franchise. All Indians above 21 years of age would be allowed to vote in state and national elections. This was also unique at a global level because in other countries that allowed voting, the right to vote was granted in stages such as men that held property could vote, then education allowed men to vote, then working class men were allowed, then working class men in the countryside they were allowed to vote. Women got a right to vote much later. Finally, racial minorities such as African Americans got a right to vote. So, in these Western countries, it happened in stages, but in India, we have done it at once. So, country that gave the right to vote to all adults without thinking about their color, race, gender, education, or wealth did not exist then. India was the first. See, India was the first who gave the right immaterial of race, religion, caste, economical background, educational background. The constitution also treated all the citizens equally without giving importance to their color, race, gender, education, wealth. Some people thought that India should be a Hindu country since Pakistan had decided to be a Muslim country. But that idea was rejected. It wasn't just about the Hindus or Muslims, India was home to a lot of Christians, Jains, Parsis, and Buddhists too. Likewise, there were many topics that were long debated. Now, next, reservations for women, lower caste, and tribals was one such issue for arguments. The argument was for years, women, untouchables, Harijans, and tribes had to suffer at the hands of the higher caste and wealthy people and other men. त्याच्यासाठी आपण एच जे खांडेकरांचा तो एक पॅरेग्राफ वाचला. सो डू रिमेंबर दॅट. The argument was it was necessary to give them special treatment in free India to reserve the damage and reduce the gap between them and others. So they would have special seats in educational institutes and even for jobs. जे तुम्ही सध्या मराठा आरक्षणाचं मोर्चे वगैरे काढताय ते बघत असाल टीव्हीवर. सो in our education system, in government job system, okay, it was necessary to give them special treatment in free India to reserve the damage and reduce the gap between them and others. So they would have special seats in educational institutes and even for jobs. The argument was even if they weren't as good as the others in the exams or the jobs, they would still be given consideration because for thousands of years they had no education, no respect, and no status in society. Means they were suppressed by thousands of years. So for those special groups or those special communities or those underprivileged group of people, there should be some reservation in the constitution which was recommended at that time. Okay, because why they means as I said, they were underprivileged.
If you like our videos, do share them and subscribe to our channel. If you want awesome quizzes, write to us. Keep watching and keep learning with Walnut.